4 days prior to the recording of this video, the inevitable happened and I became yet another statistic of the motorcycle community. On November 24th, 2024, I went on a planned and routed ride with a buddy of mine, and not even 3 curves into our adventure, I locked the front brakes at the beginning of a turn and flew over the handlebars and landed face first into a tree. I know what you're thinking. Rookie mistake. And yeah, you're right. Everything about that outing was dangerous from the beginning. First off, I should have never gotten on the bike in the first place because I had only gotten about 4 hours of sleep the night before. Secondly, I was riding way beyond my skill. Thirdly, I was not even wearing all the gear. I was missing a proper riding jacket, so my dumbass Garfield hoodie was torn to pieces. Luckily, though, the gear that I was wearing saved my life and I walked away with only a broken radial. Although there is no convenient time to break my arm, I feel like fate chose a bad moment in life considering Thanksgiving, finals, and winter break are in the midst of happening in immediate unison of one another right now. But I wanted to make this video to discuss an opportunity I have. You see, I've been consistently exercising for about a year and 3 months, and I don't plan to stop just because of this smelly old cast. I know what I'm wearing right now is technically a splint. Don't be a nerd. And what I have in front of me is the opportunity for a very funny joke. If you haven't connected the dots already, I'm planning on recreating the oh-so-famous GOONER build, where one arm is noticeably larger than the other. As I continue a consistent exercise routine with progressive overload and a calorie surplus, the build will naturally come together as my casted arm withers away. And while I have you here, I just want to say that I'm not some gym pro. I can't even bench 225. I just thought that this would be funny to document. Also, I'm shamelessly reading a script. But I
Don't care, don't care, don't care, still don't care.
Let's get to the meat. As far as an actual exercise routine goes, I am switching to an almost entirely cable and machine-based routine. 2 days after I broke my arm, I went to my school gym to dip my toes in the water and test the machines that I'd be using for the next 9 or so weeks, and got a good feel for what my future routine will look like. And for the most part, I think I have a clear idea for the replacement of my free weight compound movements. And really quick, I'm going to talk about my previous lifting statistics before the accident, and then I'm going to tell you what I'm going to replace them with. For dumbbell bench, I was repping 85-pound dumbbells, and I will be replacing this with a chest press machine where I can use one of my legs for balance, because otherwise, if I was using the free weights, I think I'd topple off the bench. For overhead dumbbell press, I was repping 60-pound dumbbells, and I will be replacing this with a shoulder press machine. I don't really have a way to balance myself, but I think I'll figure it out, and I might eventually move to free weights on this. For upper back, I will be replacing my lat pull downs of 220 for reps with single arm lat pull downs, and maybe I'll master the one hand pull up. And I'll kind of do the same thing for my lower back, where I'll just do one arm cable rows, which was previously 190 for reps. I'll be replacing my leg press, which was 500 pounds for reps, with a leg press cable machine. And theoretically, I could continue to use my plated leg press, but getting all those plates on and off with one arm seems like too much work, and I'll be damned if I ask for help every leg day. All right, lastly is my replacement for RDL, which was 215 for reps, and I don't exactly know what I'll do instead. So for now, I think I'm just going to increase my set of leg curls and throw in some weighted hip thrusts. Of course, this was all made on the fly, and I'd love feedback assistive to my situation. And hopefully I can move back to free weights as time progresses, but for now, I want to start slow. As I previously mentioned, I will continue to do my best to eat a calorie surplus to negate muscle atrophy as much as possible, though some would be beneficial to my goals. As far as the arm goes, my radial is displaced enough to where I am required to have a plate put on my arm via surgery, so exercise will be out of the picture for a short period after that. And not to mention, finals are literally a week away, so again, progress will be stunted for several reasons. I really only planned on making this starting video and 1 or 2 more videos in between the final results, but that all depends on the response I get and the results themselves. Regardless, if the end product is even remotely funny, I'll post them. Thanks for watching this long if you're still here. There's several things I wanted to say, but they didn't really relate to the formation of the GOONER build. Firstly, I want to thank everyone that has been with me throughout this event. My friend Jack, who was on the ride with me, he's a friend that I would want present in any emergency. He stayed calm, cool, and collected. He called who I asked to call, and he even took some pictures that perfectly documented the situation. He was very caring and even went to the hospital to check up on me afterwards, but the hospital was really shitty and he couldn't see me in time, but I'll talk more about the hospital later. The two nurses that happened upon the scene before the EMTs arrived, though I can only remember Nurse Katrina's name, I was really glad they were there as they consoled my mom on the phone. The actual EMTs were very quick to respond to the scene and they were very direct to me about the situation, which I appreciated. Alex, my beloved, happened to be in town with me, and if she wasn't with me throughout those next couple of days as I was recovering, I would have had a mental breakdown. So I am so lucky to have her in my life, and I'm overfilled with gratitude and love for her. My parents, they've been offering assistance in every way imaginable. I'm so lucky to have an incredibly supportive family by my side. My best friend, Christian, who visited me in the hospital to deliver a Diet Dr. Pepper in haste per my request. Lastly, but most importantly, is Emily, a good friend and owner of the bike that I wrecked. She was very understanding and sympathetic, and she valued my health before her bike throughout the whole incident, and I was giving so much grace. And quite frankly, I was giving more than I really deserved. Again, thank you, Emily. I think that an important footnote to emphasize here is that the bike, a 2017 CBR 500R, despite a few more scratches, the bike was in perfect condition after the wreck and was ridden away from the scene by Emily herself. And ironically enough, Emily was going to replace the fairings after my ride as she had recently bought a new set. Anywho, enough of that. Did I mention that I was visited by a state trooper in the hospital to be handed a ticket for due care because I drove outside of my lane? And what? In reality, I seriously did deserve that ticket, but they didn't charge me a fee, which I'm super grateful for. But damn, dude, give me a minute. Speaking of the hospital I was in, do not go to Cookeville Medical. Holy shit, have you seen their reviews? Let me just read one of their reviews really quick. Let me read a review from Chris D. I have had to take my 3 months at a time daughter here several times. Once, her lungs were 50% full of fluid, waited 4 hours just to be took back so they could then make us wait another hour before sending us to Children's Hospital, Knoxville. Then, here recently, we've had to take our 1.5-year-old when she had been screaming in pain with a fever of 103.4, and we got there at 6, got x-rays of her chest done, and didn't see a doctor until 9ish. Then was discharged, diagnosed with bronchitis. Then when we got home, she started vomiting. If you can make it to any other hospital, I would recommend going there. We went there due to emergency situations and had no other choice. Take me and Chris's advice, don't go to Cookeville Regional. On another note, most of you won't be asking, but some of you will, if I'll ever ride again. That question's really hard to answer as my wounds are still literally and figuratively fresh. But I want to mention one thing. I've never been more scared imagining a phone call. Imagining a phone call where you're told that your son, your lover, your brother, or your best friend has just died in an accident. If I died, those imaginary calls would have instantly become reality. The more I think about it, the more I feel selfish for whipping my head around when I hear 600 roar by in the distance and fantasize about swinging a leg over. Even though I consider motorcycles as a big part of my life and one of my greatest passions, riding one again will be a pipe dream for a very long time. Regardless, I'm alive and I'm super grateful. And I really didn't know how to end this, but I just wanted to say that even with a cast, I got a 7-person kill feed on BO6 and got play of the game twice. So, okay, bye. Thanks for watching.